Hey guys, this is B from B's Gaming. I'm going to be making a little series of tutorials on how to do various things on a Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. It is pretty basic and going to be aimed at getting people going on Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, particularly if they have not used Microsoft Flight Simulator products before. I hope you guys can learn a little something from this. Please, if you like this or any of my content, like and subscribe. Please leave a comment on what else you'd like to see. Thank you. This first video is going to be very basic, just getting started on Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 and basically going over some of the basic functionality. First, this is your welcome screen. As you can see, there's various things you can do. So let's just take a look. Flight training, for example, there are two different ones. This is actually new with the December 22nd update, is airline training, where you're going to go into takeoff and landings in the Airbus A320. And you also have general aviation training, where you're going to go in the Cessna 152 and learn basic controls and cameras, attitude and instruments, takeoff and level flight, landings, traffic patterns, your first solo flight, learning how to navigate, and then a navigation solo. So in your navigation solo, you're going to actually be able to fly from one location to another and use the tips that they show you there to be able to set up your own flights. So this general aviation training is very good, especially if you've never used Microsoft Flight Simulator before. It gives you a pretty good general overview on how to fly the aircraft, on what some of the main instruments that you're going to be using, and some very basic controls of the aircraft. And it's good to just get going and start having fun with the simulator. I highly recommend, if you never used Microsoft Flight Simulator before, or any simulator for that matter, to come into the general aviation training and run through these courses, because it will help you get comfortable with the aircraft and start having fun. Alright, so let's go back. So this is where you'll go training. They also have activities, and you can do landing challenges or these bush trips. So these bush trips, there are several that you can do. They're pretty lengthy. I haven't really done any of them, but as you can see, they can be pretty long. I think it's just a fun way to do some backcountry flying if that's what you want to be doing. Another activity you have are these landing challenges. And these are pretty fun. I have done a video on this before. You can see my 747 landing challenge linked up here. It was a lot of fun to make. It's a lot of fun to do. I highly recommend doing these landing challenges, particularly if you have a little bit more experience with flight simulators. These are a lot of fun. So now, how do you set up your own flight? You go to the world map, so you can select anywhere that you want to depart from. So let's just say San Antonio. You can pick your aircraft, so whatever you want to be flying, maybe the Diamond aircraft, the DA-62. It's a fun one to fly. So you can download different liveries if you want. You can set up the weight and balance. You can set up if you want a failure to happen while you're taking off or in air, or when you want it to fail exactly and what you want to fail. HC options, this is good because you can actually set up what you want your call sign to be. So this is great because you can pick any tail number you want. So let's just say you want NFSX21, then that will be your tail number. It's awesome. So you can choose a call sign, so what you want air traffic control to call you, so you can really put anything you want in here, such as, if you want to pretend you're an airline, you can go like Delta, and then whatever you want your flight number to be, like 587. So right here, there's a lot that you can set up. You can choose what runway you actually want to depart from up here, or maybe you want to start at a gate, and if you start at a gate, you start with the plane off, so you had to go through a startup. If you start on a runway already, everything's already set up for you to take off. So another thing you can do is open these filters of what you want to see. If you want to see clouds, airports, and this one's really cool because now you can set up the airspaces, see what nav aids and fixes and RNAV positions. So now you have everything you really need right here on this map. So you can also open up your legends and see what all the symbols mean. So you have this triangle, for example, if you're not sure what it is. Okay, you come down here. you see that it's a fix. You see these little things, then okay, you know that it's an RNAV waypoint. So there's a lot that you can see from this map alone. So go ahead and close the legend. You can save if you want. So if you have a flight plan that you want, you can load and save it. So let's say you want to go somewhere from San Antonio. So let's say you want to go to uh, San Antonio. Let's say you want to go from San Antonio to San Diego. You can set up a VFR direct GPS. So that's just going to give you a straight line from one airport to the other. Or you can actually do VOR to VOR, which will give you multiple VOR waypoints from San Antonio to San Diego. And then you can do low altitude or high altitude IFR flights. And that will set up various waypoints from one to the other. And then you can select which runways you want to take off from and what type of departure procedure you want to follow for both arrival and departures. So let's just say we want to do San Antonio, arrive in San Diego, pretty much always land on 27 in San Diego. So you set up that approach, and now you can go ahead and save that if you wanted to. And now you kind of have a general understanding of the basics on how to set up flight for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. And in further videos, I'm going to go over more on how to fly certain approaches, or just in general how to fly the plane. So please stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and as always, have a good night.